Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, gonna go over all the games from the 18th of April 2021. Alright, if you have not already done so, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified when a new video drops, and make sure to like this video if you enjoy it as well. Alright, let's get started. First game was between Washington and Boston. Now, last time out, did they play each other last time? I can't even remember who played each other yesterday anymore. Alright, Boston won this one 6-3. And this one got a little bit chippy at the end. Alright, 12:02 of the first, Patrice Bergeron gets his 17th of the year, shorthanded from Brad Marchand. Then at 13:56 of the first, David Krejci gets his 4th of the year from Connor Clifton and Craig Smith. Then 19:50 of the first, Washington make it a 1-goal game. TJ Oshie's 15th from Nicholas Backstrom. Then Washington would tie it at 3:48 of the second. Oshie would get his 16th on the power play from Evgeny Kuznetsov and Nicholas Backstrom. Then at 4:54 of the second, Washington would take the lead. Anthony Mantha getting his 15th. I think that's 3 or 4 goals since he came over from Detroit at the trade deadline. On the power play from Dmitry Orlov and Lars Eller. At this point, Boston takes over. So 6:33 into the second period, Brad Marchand gets his 22nd from Pastrnak and Bergeron, the usual suspects when it comes to one of those three scoring. That would tie the game. Then at 16:02, David Krejci would get his 2nd goal of the game, 5th of the year, from Smith and Hall. Taylor Hall getting another point, doing fairly well since he came over to Boston, just like Mantha has for Washington. Just Boston's been winning more since he came over than Washington has with Mantha there. I swear, I think they've lost 2 or 3 out of the 3 or 4 games they've played since they acquired Mantha. 17:45 into the second, Bergeron gets his 18th from Pastrnak and Marchand. At 9:21 of the third, Garnett Hathaway of Washington, yes, that player, gets a 5-minute major for boarding Jared Tenorti. Now, Hathaway's not a huge guy, and in order to do that kind of damage that gets you a 5-minute major against someone like Jared Tenorti, who's 6'7" without skates. I mean, Hathaway, I think, is maybe 6 foot, maybe 6'1". I don't even think that, honestly. But he had to have really gone hard after him, and that just, I know you're losing by 2 goals at that point. What is the point to that? It's just a stupid, selfish play, and that's what I was told when I did something stupid like that when I played hockey. It's a selfish play. I mean, you're not putting your team first, you're putting yourself first in that situation. And that was just a stupid penalty because that just really screwed him over. Because, I mean, they spent the next 5 minutes down 2 goals. Luckily, Boston didn't get a power play goal. But it was just a stupid penalty to take at that point in the game. 18:16 into the third, though, Marchand would add his 23rd from Pastrnak, and I misspelled that. And, yep, there you go, 6-3. Boston with the victory. Hathaway with his history, probably getting a suspension. Alright, Washington outshot Boston 33-28. Faceoffs were 54-46 in favor of Boston. Washington 2 for 6 on the power play, where Boston was 0 for 3. Penalty minutes were 21-14, Washington with 21. Hits 33-28 in favor of Washington. Blocks 12-9 in favor of Boston. And giveaways 6-2, Washington was 6. Vanacek had 22 saves, 815 save percentage in the loss. And Victor Rask, 30 saves, 909 save percentage for the victory. On to the New York Rangers at New Jersey Devils. I think they're in a 4-game straight matchup against each other because I don't think I've seen them play anybody else in the last week. Alright, Rangers won this one 5-3. I think they've won all 4, actually, or all 3 that they've played so far. 6:31 in the first, Chris Kreider gets his 19th on the power play from Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin. At 14:03 of the first, Vitaly Kravtsov, got his first career goal. Congratulations to him. From Brett Howden. Then at 5:17 in the second, Alexis Lafreniere would make it a 3-goal game with his 8th of the year from Philip Cheadle and Capo Caco. that 1855 New Jersey would finally respond. Mikhail Maltsev will get his 5th of the year from Yegor Sharangovich and PK Subban. That minute 53 into the third, they'd make a 1-goal game. Marian Studenich, I believe is how they pronounced it. First goal of his career, congratulations to him, from Maltsev and Andreas Janssen, who, yes, I honestly forgot played for New Jersey because he has not done much offensively this year. 5:30 into the third, Nico Hischier would tie the game at that point, his 3rd of the year for Nicholas Merkley and Nolan Foote. I believe that is Nolan Foote's first career point. If it is, congratulations. If not, congratulations anyways, at least your first assist. 17 minutes into the third, Zibanejad would get his 16th of the year on the power play. This would end up being the game-winning goal from Ryan Strome and Adam Fox. At 19:35 of the third, Strome would add his 14th from Colin Blackwell and Artemi Panarin. Make it 5-3, New York Rangers with the 2 points. New Jersey outshot the Rangers 30-25. They beat them in the faceout die as well, 57-43. Rangers were 2 for 5 on the power play. New Jersey 0 for 1. Because the Rangers had 2 penalty minutes the entire game, compared to 20 for the New Jersey Devils. So I'm assuming there was a misconduct in there at some point. Because 5 power plays for Rangers, that's 10 penalty minutes. Yep, that had to be misconduct. Alright, hits were 16-8 in favor of the Rangers, blocks 13 each, giveaways 12-3, New Jersey with 12. Georgiev had 25 saves, 893 save percentage. I believe he technically got the victory. He was injured, unfortunately, so hopefully he'll be alright. Shesterkin had 2 saves for 1,000 save percentage in relief, and Blackwood 21 saves, 840 save percentage in the loss. On to Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. I gotta admit, out of Buffalo's wins, I think at least half of them, if not almost all of them, have come against Pittsburgh. I don't know what it is about Buffalo, but they have Pittsburgh's number this year, it just feels like. Because Buffalo wins again, 4-2. 26 seconds into the first period is all it took for Buffalo's R2 Ruotsalainen, his 2nd of the year from Dylan Cousins and Rasmus Dahlin. Then 2:18 of the second period, Sam Reinhart had his 16th from Victor Olofsson and Jeff Skinner. 8:02 into the third, Reinhart would get his 17th, 2nd goal of the game, on the power play from Olofsson and Dahlin. Then Pittsburgh would kill the shutout. At 10:18 of the third, Jason Zucker's 7th from Jeff Carter, I believe that is Carter's first point as a Penguin, and Jared McCann. Then at 18:12 of the third, Buffalo would make it a 3-goal game again. Rasmus Asplund would get his 6th of the year from Casey Middlestad. And then at 19:36, Pittsburgh would make it a 2-goal game. Too little, too late at that point, but at least they get another one on there. Teddy Bluger's 5th from Evan Rodriguez and Cody Ceci. Ceci not having a bad offensive year compared to what he's had last couple, so interesting to see. But playing with Crosby and Malkin can do that, but honestly, I don't feel like they've had great years either. But hey, the team's winning. It's all that really matters in the long run. And Crosby's numbers are not bad at all. They're decently good numbers. It's just for him, it just feels like it's not what we're used to seeing. And then, of course, Malkin's injured again, but it seems like every year he has something going on, unfortunately. Shots on goal were 36-29 in favor of Pittsburgh. Faceoffs 54-46 in favor of Buffalo. Pittsburgh 0 for 2 on the power play. Buffalo 1 for 4. Penalty minutes 8-4 for Pittsburgh for 8. Hits were 22-13 in favor of Buffalo. Blocks 13-11 in favor of Pittsburgh. Giveaways 8-6. Buffalo with 8. Casey DeSmith 25 saves, 893 save percentage. And Tokarski 34 saves, 944 save percentage for the victory. On to, yes, this again, Vegas versus Anaheim. Like I said previously, Anaheim has their 1 victory against Vegas that they averaged for the last 3 seasons now, so lost again. Yep, 5-2, Vegas wins this one. Alright, 3:25 into the first, Max Pacioretty's 22nd from Alec Martinez and Mark Stone. 6:23 of the first, Max Comtois would score his 13th of the year from Josh Manson and Ricard Raquel. I'm sorry, 1446 of the first. Alex Pietrangelo will get his fourth from Pacioretty and Martinez. Then at 243 the second, Nicholas Waugh will get his fifth from William Carrier and Zach Whitecloud. Then at 1813 of the second, Mark Stone will get his 15th on the power play from Shea Theodore and Marc-Andre Fleury. Goalie point! Then at 1406 of the third, Anaheim would make it a 2-goal game. Danton Heinen would get his 6th from Adam Henrique and Jakob Silfverberg. At 1833 of the third, Alex Tuck would definitely put it out of reach. 16th of the year from Waugh and Nosek, which I thought Nosek was hurt, so it was interesting seeing his name on the score sheet. But still no Reeves and still no Kolesar, which will be interesting considering they're playing San Jose tomorrow, so we'll have to see how much San Jose decides to run around tomorrow. And also tomorrow when San Jose plays Vegas, I won't be able to watch the game because it's blacked out in my local area, and Dish still has not come to an agreement with NBC Sports. Irritating. But I won't be able to see it, but tomorrow Patrick Marleau will pass Gordie Howe for the most games played in NHL history tomorrow against Vegas, so I have a feeling San Jose is going to be popping tomorrow anyways. Alright, shots on goal were 35-29 in favor of Anaheim, amazingly. Anaheim also won the faceoff dot, 56-44. Vegas was 1 for 3 on the power play, Anaheim 0 for 4. Penalty minutes were 8-6, Vegas with 8. Hits were 22-15 in favor of Anaheim. Blocks 20-11 in favor of Vegas. And giveaways 10-9, Anaheim with 10. Fleury had 33 saves, 943 save percentage. And Gibson, he can go from a good game to a god-awful game so quickly. 24 saves, 857 save percentage for the loss. On to New York Islanders versus Philadelphia Flyers. Philly loses 1-0 to the Islanders in overtime. Well, at least they didn't allow 6 goals again. So, as you can tell, no scoring in the first 3 periods. Yeah, one of those fun old games. 2:23 into overtime, Nick Leddy would get his 2nd goal of the year from Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Jordan Eberle to give the Islanders 2 points, and I think their first victory in 4 games. And the Islanders, not the Islanders, the Flyers at least got a point, I guess, still technically in the race. Flyers outshot the Islanders 30-28. They beat them in the faceoff dot as well, 60-40. Islanders 0 for 2 in the power play. Philadelphia 0 for 1. Philly 4 penalty minutes to the Islanders 2. Hits were 29-27 in favor of the Islanders. Blocks 16-11 in favor of the Islanders. And giveaways 9-6. Islanders win 9. Sorokin had 30 saves for a 1,000 save percentage for a shutout for the Islanders. And Elliott 27 saves, 964 save percentage for a loss. On to our last game of the evening. The first game the Vancouver Canucks have played in, God, I think like 2 weeks. I had to go back pretty far just to find the pictures of their symbols in my previous ones I've done. So this took a little while to find, but it was nice to see them back. Alright. And Vancouver would win it 3-2 in overtime. Alright. This one started out for in favor of the Maple Leafs. 3:45 into the first, William Nylander's 14th from John Tavares. Then at 14:57 into the second, Austin Matthews will get his 33rd goal of the year, still leading the league. On the power play from Nylander and Tavares, and Matthews is back from injury, and Nylander is back from COVID protocol. So, ironic he returns on a night when an entire team returns from COVID protocol. I find that ironic, personally. 16:23 into the second period, Bo Horvat would get his 15th from Nils Hoglander, making a 1-goal game going into the third. At 12:03 of the third, Hoglander would get his 8th goal of the year from Jalen Chatfield. That is his first career point for Chatfield. Congratulations to him. And Bo Horvat. Now, 10:16 into the second, I forgot to mention this, Alex Edler of Vancouver would get a kneeing major against Zach Hyman. Now, Edler has a history with kneeing issues, so this is not his first offense, so I have a feeling he's going to get hopefully a hefty suspension, because you know what, if you have a history of it, I know they're not supposed to take that into account technically, but come on. I mean, you got a history of doing these type of things. I mean, he isn't always necessarily kneeing, he's also been hits to the head, so he has a history of hurting people with hits, so I think you need to give him at least a 5-6 gamer for it. I mean, I haven't seen the severity of it. Maybe he doesn't get anything. I mean, he does have the advantage of being on a Canadian team, so it definitely gives you an out when you do things. And anybody who says otherwise, you're just blind. It's the reality of the matter. If Alex Edler had done that and he was on someone like, let's say, Nashville, he would have been given 5-6 easily. No questions asked. But because he's on Vancouver, he's probably going to get like a game, if that. Probably a fine. Alright, anyways, out of that tangent, sorry about that. Minute 19 into overtime, Bo Horvat's 16th goal of the year from Tyler Myers and Brock Besser, giving Vancouver the 2 points and Toronto a single point. Toronto has been on a bit of a downturn lately. I think they're still waiting on Nick Foligno to arrive, though. Hopefully he does soon. Might help them get out of this rut. Alright, the Maple Leafs outshot the Canucks 39-24. Faceoffs were 53-47 in favor of Toronto. Power play 1 for 4 for Toronto, 0 for 1 for Vancouver. Penalty minutes 19-2, Vancouver with 19. Hits were 13-11 in favor of Toronto. Blocks 23-13 in favor of Vancouver. And giveaways 7-5, Vancouver with 7. Campbell had 21 saves, 875 save percentage for the loss. And Holtby 37 saves, 949 save percentage for the victory. I think this is the best Holtby has looked all year for Vancouver, to be honest with you. So, there you have it. That's all the games for this evening. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you all next video. Oh, make sure to comment and share. And let me know what you think these two players have got major penalties today for boarding and kneeing. What do you think they're going to get suspension-wise, if anything? Alright, I'll see you all next video. Bye, everybody.